All right, let's see how this works out. Is anyone here yet? Boom, 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 boom. Amber Life. I honestly think that what is going on, everyone? How's everything going? I honestly think earlier today we I was testing something and it went live, and I think people were on here trying to figure out what was going on. So who knows? Who knows? I like this chat over here. We only have a couple people. I should say by the time we get rolling, we only have like 20 or 30 people. But right now, I think we got four in the chat, and they're probably having to sit through the commercial right now. Let's go to here, comments. Jenny W., how are you? Mina B. Matthew, how you doing? For the show, your channel is worth the commercials. Well, I'm sorry you guys got to sit through those commercials. This channel isn't even monetized, but my understanding is they do run ads, which I get nothing off of for this channel. There's no monetization on this one yet. So Dallas, huh? All right. This is kind of strange. My one sec. Oh, you know what? Let me see if this poll shows up. They have this new feature on these live chats for polls. Let me see. See if that pops up. You got the camera fix. I hopefully got the camera fix. Hey, I see the poll. What is going on with my chat here? Almost missed the monthly payment to your reemployed. You don't have to go monthly payment to me. You know what? If you're unemployed, you do you. If I read that right. Hey, Brett, how are you? That's really weird. Well, so I'll tell you what, the camera's working and all that today, but for some reason, the chat isn't working yet. What is going on with the world? Strange world we live in. I don't know what this thing's doing. But anyway, let's go on. Let me see something here. Let's try this over here. 10 live chat. I know how we'll do it. We'll do it this way. Boom, 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 boom. You in control room. There we go. There's our chat. Finally got it there. Let's try this whole thing again. Can you read this? Boom. All right, that should work. No poll showing that should. So, okay. So I think I got this nailed down here finally. Woo! I love it when technology actually works for me. Hopefully we won't freeze or anything. We'll be good to go. Minnesota, Kathleen Salisbury. Salisbury. Go Browns, go Browns. Hello from Minnesota. Howdy from Dallas. All right, now we're cooking with fire. We can read the floating poll. This is a floating poll. Your content is worth. Okay. Well, thanks, AA Ron 421. Eastern Oregon, Hemerston. Oh, okay. I know where that is. Let's see if I can fix one thing real quick. Direct live chat. No, we'll leave that alone. All right. Okay, so Wichita, Kansas, huh? Home of Pizza Hut. You ain't lying. It's home of Pizza Hut. I read an interesting thing about Pizza Hut one time that they couldn't come up with a name for it, and the wife of one of the founders said, "Well, it looks like a hut." It used to be like a I think it was a Chinese food place, and so they decided to call it Pizza Hut. And that original building, they just decided to mimic what they had already made, which was the design for an old Chinese food place. Strange. All right, and everyone ended the poll. Evening, HD. How are you? All right, 20 people. So the reason we're doing it on this one, for some reason on the main channel, I think if I'm running live streams, it actually hurts the channel. Um, and there's a couple reasons for that. I think mainly it's you guys that show up here know me and know who I am and everything like that. Well, when someone sees me for the first time, I think a lot of people, I'm not what they were expecting. I think they're expecting some 25-year-old dude or whatever. And then they see me and they're all, why am I watching this older dude? So they quit watching. So I lose a lot of subscribers every time I live stream on that channel. And also my viewership tanks a little bit. So I think I just got a live stream on this channel for now on because I like live streaming. I just don't want to hurt my main channel. All right, Matthew Craig. That would be about 6 time frame rate. Then immediately went mobile delivery. Coleman originally. Yep, mobile delivery. Pizza, it's the microwave kind of another random thing I read about how microwaves really changed pizza delivery because now people could heat up pizza and stuff like that, and it changed how they delivered it and everything. It's a weird world we live in, how things happen like that. Yeah, HD and Jenny, thanks. I agree. I don't feel I always forget sometime that I'm over the age of 40. Actually, sometimes I forget I'm over the age of 20. Um, don't grow up. If you guys have the option, don't grow up. It's really not worth it. I've never been a big fan of acting my age. But yeah, so I just think I get a bunch of 15, 16-year-olds that hear my voice, then they see me and they're like, "What's going on here?" and they bail. So I don't want to hurt the channel. You're weird. I am weird. Do you want AA wrong? Yeah. I think one of the best, even though years later or after his death, everyone started saying what a lech he was. But Hugh Hefner one time said, "You're only as old as the women you feel." I thought that was classic for Hugh Hefner, obviously. Heck 32, not a child. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, growing up is not fun. I'm 55. Yeah, I think I'm 55. Ooh, my chair's I gotta get a new chair too. You hear that? Duration 30. And we get concurrent viewers. Nice, moving right along. So this channel, you'll be getting some good videos on this channel next week. I'm going on a cruise. It was an impulse buy cruise. So about 2 weeks ago, I was looking at cruise rates and I'm all, let's go on a cruise. I asked my wife if she wanted to go on a cruise. So Wednesday we take off on a cruise. If you guys watch on this day, it's gonna be hit or miss for the next 2 weeks. I think I got a couple already scheduled, but we'll be back on it after the first week of June to normal times. Raton, Florida, 10 days. I guess house. Boca Raton's nice. You know what's really funny is I just don't like the humidity in Florida. I mean, Florida's neat and it's a lot of fun, tons of things to do. I just, when I was in the army and I went to ranger school and basic training for that matter, it was like in August and July and June all the time. Each time I went to Fort Benning, and it was miserable. And now every time it gets humid, I just, it's like I have these flashbacks to basic training and stuff, and I'm like, I can't stand the humidity. Well, happens every time I go to Florida. I'm like, I can't stand this humidity. You can't be that old. Cruise meet. By the way, I am going on a vloggers cruise. A bunch of YouTubers are doing a cruise out of New Orleans in January. Now, I'm not sure if I'm going to be on it to speak or not. The girl running it asked me if I would, and we didn't follow up with it, so I'm not sure what's going on with that. But I will definitely be on that, and that's going on the Breakaway, the Norwegian cruise line Breakaway out of New Orleans, and I think it is. Let's take a look. I can see. Come on. That one is here we go. 7-day Caribbean round trip, New Orleans, Harvest K, leaves January 29th. So that should be entertaining to say the least. Ooh, hey, let's try a new thing. Let's see if this works. Okay, ready? Awesome. Oh my god, it works. Look at that. How cool was that? I hope you guys can see it. I'm a little delayed here. Look at that. How cool is that? I love that. Here, Dregs, you deserve to get that one shown. There you go. Dregs always Dregs always has something good to say. Shiny, shiny, shiny. Are you talking about the top of my head? Look at that. We're moving up in the right direction, everyone. We're using technology like it should be done. So, so I got a really cool video coming out. It'll be out Monday or Wednesday. So it was weird that they have the United Van Lines Mover Study, and this last year, some strange states boiled to the top of where everyone was moving to. It's always been Texas, Idaho, Arizona, California, those type things. The top two this year, I know they're in the top two: Vermont and West Virginia, out of nowhere. So I did a video on 10 things you should know before you move to Vermont. So that should be up Monday. I hope you guys watch it. Go Brown. Hey, there we go. That one always gets shown. Go Browns. Any recommendations for Washington, D.C.? Um, you know, if you have to work in Washington, D.C., you got to live in Virginia. That's where everyone says to you got to live. I've never lived in Washington, D.C., but everything I read, all the stats I see, it's not a good plan to be living in there. I mean, besides the traffic, they got some crime, they got some other issues, but I would stay out of Washington, D.C., live in Virginia, and work in Washington, D.C. But actually moving to Washington, D.C., they do have some good neighborhoods. Don't get me wrong. They got some bad neighborhoods and they got a lot of traffic. That's the biggest downside of that place. Do I ever get scared of flying? I you know, I do as I got older. Well, I was in a couple pretty scary landings when I was in the military, and before those, I'd never even cared, never even thought about it. It was like getting in the car to me. Then that got me a little sketchy after a couple near misses on military aircraft. And now that I'm getting a little bit older, I'm like, I don't like flying. And it's not because I'm afraid to fly. It's just, it's a pain in the ass. All the going through checks. It's not a pleasurable experience anymore. Airlines have turned into Greyhound buses in the sky. I don't like it. I prefer to get on the train and just, I can do that. Luckily, I could take 3 days off and just take a train trip someplace. I could take 4 days off if I want. I'm fortunate enough to be in that position. So I take the train whenever I can. But if I got to be someplace like the next day or tomorrow or today, I'll take a flight. Yeah, Dregs, West Virginia and the train that goes through there, the Cardinal, is amazing. Even though they do have some areas where it gets kind of sketchy, the tracks, it's in the mountains, so not everything's perfectly smooth, but you're like looking over a cliff and it's doing this back and forth thing, so it's really uncomfortable. Yeah. That's another thing. Everyone just associates Maryland with Baltimore. Baltimore has some decent spots. It's got some freaking horrible spots. But most of Maryland is just a beautiful place to live, and that's where a lot of people live, Virginia or Maryland. Yes, Vermont, they got that maple there. Um, Actually, I make a comment about that in the video when it comes up. Yeah, that's happened a few times. I remember the first time it ever occurred to me that could happen, was one going out of LA. The guy just drove it right in the ocean, and I think it was an Egyptian Airlines flight. Now these days, if the pilot has to go to the bathroom, one of the stewardesses have to go into the cockpit. There's always got to be two people in there since that one. I guess there was a China flight that something happened, but I don't know. It's weird. When you're involved in human beings, you're always gonna have something weird happen. HK Briggs. This past year, I moved Atlanta to Michigan. Good move. I had to put vitamin D, lack of sunlight. Yeah. Yeah, you got it. That's how it is here in Oregon too. Everyone's got to take a vitamin D supplement. I didn't for the longest time. For the first time in my life, I started getting eczema. You get those skin problems along with, your mood swings and all that stuff. So yeah, I definitely had to start taking some vitamin D. Here's a good one. What's my worst flight experience? I was flying into Honduras one time with the military, and we went off the end of the runway. Now, nothing blew up, nothing died, but you could. Here's the downside of a military flight. You could see the pilots, okay? There's no door there. And when you start seeing the pilots start freaking out and it's getting kind of rough, and then you can see one pilot, he's got like his foot up on the dashboard thing, and he's like bracing himself like this. Some crap's about to go down. We ended up in a swamp. Melissa Rhea, how are you? Yeah, air pockets will give you a good rattle, won't they? Let's see what our stats are now. Don't forget to like this video too, by the way, guys. It helps out. Got 35 people in here. 22 likes. Someone's dropping the ball. Moved in Chicago. It's Streetville now. Streeterville, sorry. Streeterville. I've heard that one. I'm not sure where it is. Let me look that up real quick. Oh, you're right there by the dock, right? Oh, okay. Right above the loop. Thought that sounded familiar. Navy Pier's there. Actually, last time I stayed there, stayed at the London House, which is not too far from where you live now. Hey, R. Kirby, how are you? You've been with me a long time, Dregs. Thank you for that. Vincent, how often are suicide? I really don't know. In my life, I've only heard that they know of it happen like 3 or 4 times. And, that's who knows what I'm missing. Oh, well, I'm glad you made it here to see us live. Thanks for showing up. There's a little bit of a delay, guys. I think it's like 20 seconds, so close loop in the North River area. Used to be a sandbar, yep. Yeah, next time I think I'm gonna go out there this summer to Chicago. Any YouTube person I want to box, I'll box anyone. Probably gonna have to be in the older guy group. I don't know what older YouTuber out there would want to box me. We boxed in the army. I loved it. And boxed in college. So yeah, if you guys don't know, besides that Logan Paul Triller thing where YouTubers started boxing, then they start boxing other people, there's another thing by what is his name? I don't know his name. He used to do the content cop guy. Anyway, so this guy started another boxing thing, but it's supposed to just be creators, whether it's Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, whatever, but they box. And they had a good one, and I didn't see it, but I heard it was really, really well done, and I can hardly wait for the next one. I'm going to definitely watch the next one, and I don't know. I wouldn't mind boxing someone. Yes, I could. do endless stories about pizza. I'm sure everyone else that lives in Chicago could too. Yeah, Dubs. Yeah, there you go. You got it. You fix and flip real estate in Texas and Florida. So, have you guys ever seen the? I don't know if I can say this word on here without getting in trouble, but the Cocaine Cowboys. It's a documentary about the guys that smuggled drugs into Florida back in the '80s. Very interesting. Very interesting. I was just watching it the other day, but these guys were so smart that they knew that the Coast Guard and everyone was watching them come into Florida. Well, they made so much money. A guy bought a junkyard in Texas and then another one in Florida, and then they bought tow trucks. Well, they would fill up the junk cars with the drugs and just drive them down to Florida from Texas because, they're not that's not what they're looking for. They're not looking for a tow truck driver. And so I thought that was interesting. Briggs, how dare you? Just kidding. So yeah, Robert. So Detroit, oddly enough, did have a lot of pizza joints start there. But I did a video not too long ago about Detroit, and they have per capita one of the fewest number of pizza places of any major city. McNutt at McDonald's. Oh yeah, Lou's great. I like Giordano's myself. Every time I go, I have some Giordano's. McRibs. Look up women. I'll check that out. McNutt at McDonald's. Reno wants to be known for its pizza. Really? $40 pizza tastes the same as $20 pizza. That's normally how those things work out. What's interesting story about that? Martha Stewart, when she first started out, she was a young girl and she started making these pies. She liked to bake and she was making these pies and selling them at a little stand. She put up a little card table and sell her pies at a very nice supermarket, like an upscale supermarket near wherever she grew up. No one was buying the pies. And she was trying to lower the price because she was just trying to sell them. She wanted people to buy them. Nobody was buying them. One day she got frustrated and bumped the price up from like $6 a pie to like $25 a pie, and this is back in the '60s, so that was a grip of money. Well, people now thought they were buying something really nice, so they start buying her pies for 25, and the whole time she's trying to sell between 6 and 8. Very interesting story. That's how pizza goes. They try and people. That's how everything goes. They try and throw a high price on it, and then people buy it because they think it's special. Then they realize, no, this is just $20 pizza with a $40 price. McMuffin is housebroken. In case you guys don't know, I have a pig named McMuffin. Pigs normally are housebroken. Wherever they sleep, they won't go to the bathroom there. So she has her own room inside the house. I've got all these like carpets down there that you'd have in a restaurant. So in case there is an accident, it doesn't leak through. And then she's got blankets in there and all that stuff. And she stays in there and she will not go to the bathroom. Now, if she gets out, and wanders around the house and has to go, she might, but she'll never do it in her room. So, but she's in and out all day long. She's got her outside area and then she's got her inside area. Interesting story about I forget his name, the founder of Little Caesars. Rosa Parks, the civil rights woman, went and sit in the back of the bus. Uh, in her later years, she was dead broke and she was living in a small apartment that she was going to be thrown out of because she couldn't pay the bills. He read us article about it. He moved her to a better apartment and paid for it till the day she died and never told anyone. He never, made a big thing about it. Nobody knew about it till after he died. I think that's the best type of person there is. Not trying to get nothing out of it. He just did it. Nantucket Island. Tucket Island. Remember, what was that? War of the Roses. I love Nantucket. That was a great scene. Yeah, Melissa, that's a great story. Yeah, you know what? That, like they say, if you look at it from a statistics point of view, there's more of a chance of you being killed driving to the local store than there is on the flight you're about to go on. So, August, Portland or Poland? It says Poland, but sometimes people write Poland. They meant Portland. I watch a lot of UFC stuff, and I like some of the underground stuff, and I watch some of the European stuff, not UFC, but MMA. There is a lot of really good female Polish you are MMA fighters. They've got quite the stable going on in Poland right now. Olympia. Well, thanks, Carol C. I appreciate that. Yeah, that's about the truth. Um, I was on a flight to San Antonio, and as we were going over the Rockies, coming into Salt Lake City, it got pretty rough. Probably some of the worst turbulence I've been on in a decade or two. And I got a little nervous, but this lady behind us was like, she's like, "I want off this plane now." So she yelled. So she yelled it like 4 times. Finally, I was like, "We're at 20,000 feet. Where are you gonna go?" The old woman next to me, she was all stiff. She taps me on the arm. She's all, "Not now, not now." Next week. Oh, Mackinac. That's not a bad plan. Your statistics are always wrong according to non-statistics. It's about the truth. Oh my god, so I had some clown hassling one of my employees. She was answering him, and oh my god, it was just hysterical. I started reading it afterwards, and this guy just was clueless about how YouTube works, but he kept trying to make it sound like he's an expert on it. And I'm reading, going, everything he's saying here is completely wrong. What is he talking about? What's a situation you can think of where you really put your foot in your mouth? Fuck, I do that all the time. Sorry, my language. Sorry about that. Um, I talk really fast a lot of times, and sometimes I blend 3 different thoughts at one time in my head. And yeah, just that just happens to me all the time. I always end up with my foot in my mouth. I say something that I didn't mean. I forget one day I was at work and some girl said she was really tired, and I went to say, "Yeah, it's time to go to bed." Out of my mouth comes, "Yeah, we should go to bed." I was like, or we should I forget, we should go to bed together or something like it was weird. She's kind of looked at me. I'm all, "No, in our own, separate. Go home, go to sleep." That's what I'm saying. Thanks, Caleb. I love him too. I work at internal YouTube revenue department. I need all the names of your female employees. Yeah, there you go. I'll tell you what. I have a friend named Kendra, sweetest girl in the world. Uh, she's just very, you don't make dirty jokes to Kendra, but she's the sweetest thing in the world. I got her a job at Comcast, and joking around one day, she texted me when she was going through training, and she's all, I'm gonna be done with training soon, and I'm gonna steal all your sales." She was joking around, LOL, right? Whatever. Well, I sent her a text back saying, "I will beat your ass," right? Joking around. That's perfectly fine for me and Kendra. My iPhone dropped the B on beat. And that was uncomfortable. She knew I made a mistake, but it was still, I turned bright red. I was like, "Oh my god." Yeah, they definitely can. Yeah. You know what? If it was someone else that I was more accustomed to making maybe inappropriate jokes with, it would have been fine. But Kendra's like this little, she's just the sweetest thing in the world. She was actually, we worked together at Netflix, and I would take escalations for the reps, and she was a rep there. So when she'd send someone and they were mean to her, I would listen to it a little bit before. She was so sweet that I would be angry at the person. And normally I didn't care, just go through my motions and get the people off the phone. I would actually, I've said some horrible things to people because they were mean to Kendra. She's just the sweetest thing in the world. It's weird. Oh, I loved working at Netflix. Probably one of my favorite jobs other than YouTube. Justin Scott. Any plans on? So I did this one. I was just thinking about this today. I did this one video. It didn't do that well, but did Mississippi. I probably could have done a better state. Um, Disturbing facts about Mississippi. I did that one. I really liked doing it. It was interesting. It got okay views, but I'm going to do some more of those. But right now, we're still doing that small town thing. That seems to be working well. I'm going to be mixing in some other things with it, but we're gonna finish out all 50 states. Hey, Douglas Biggs, how are you? Guys, don't forget to hit that like button on this video too, please. When were we doing small towns in Michigan? Let me look real quick. Coming up, we have Utah, Pennsylvania, um, New Mexico. Then we go back to South Carolina. Did we? I thought we already. No, we did North Carolina. So we do South Carolina. Then we come back and do Arizona, and then we got Michigan. So probably like 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Probably 2 weeks. Yeah. Thanks, Justin. I've been really enjoying that series. So my biological father is from Mississippi, and they all grew up there. I spent some summers on the Chunky River outside Meridian, in Chunky, Mississippi. And yeah, I that's another state. The humidity just killed me every single summer. It shows, okay, what shows that? Let's see this one again. So it shows Compton having less crime than Nashville and Lexington. There's no way that's true. What do you think the reason for that is? Well, there's a couple things that could be playing into that. One, Compton isn't as bad as it used to be. If we're talking about Compton, California, Compton, California isn't nearly as bad as it was in the '90s and maybe early 2000s. It's not great, definitely not. It's not good, but it's not the basic war zone that it was in the late 80s, 90s, and early 2000s. That being said, um, they get calls for other things, and a lot of crimes don't get reported. So the crime rate might be artificially lower than in Compton. And in places like Nashville and Lexington, the police have more time and things in Compton uh, that wouldn't be reported are major crimes in a lot of other cities. Like, there's a time my brother was a commander for a National Guard unit there in Compton, and someone broke into one of their warehouse things and stole some tools. And so they called the Compton Police Department. This is probably late 90s. And the guy he was talking to, the cop goes, "Yeah, I can take your report over the phone." He goes, "You can't send anyone out there?" And he goes, "You know what, dude, unless there's a body, we don't send anyone out there." So I was like, "Oh, that's the state of things in Compton." So yeah, I think Compton's artificially lower than it is. It's not as bad, like I said. It's just probably a little less. And in Nashville, more crimes are being reported that wouldn't be reported in Compton. So that's probably where the disconnect is. String facts, good. Relaunch it. Something tropical, whenever that is. Salem around Halloween. That could be good. I did read. We were doing a video not too long ago, and I talked about the whole Salem witch trials, and I learned a lot about it, and it was all just a bunch of nonsense. And people got killed because of rumors and storytelling. Lemon. I died. Topical. No, I want to talk about tropical things, Melissa. What did I have to do with Netflix? I just dealt with angry people. So when they talk to a rep, they'd always send it to me, and I worked at the late night thing. So I was just the guy that took all the escalations on there late at night. So that was all I did. It was one of my first jobs I got out of the military. Hey, Greg, how are you? Our old pal Greg Bartle Bailey. Poland next year. Nice. Do I have my remote? Damn it. Okay. Best places is the source I use. Okay. So this is nice. We have under 100 viewers here. When we start getting 3 and 400, and last time I think we did one on the other channel, it was like 500 viewers or people in the comment section. It was just too much. I had to, I don't like that at all. It's no fun. Between lunch and dinner, it's like 10 minutes. Call me a day. I like the thing, but thanks for watching that, Caleb. I love those small town videos. The small rural areas in the states you've done so far have been great. Thank you, Greg. Appreciate that. I've never. I don't think I've been to Petoskey. Yeah, I don't Petoskey. I don't think I've been there. I think I've been near there. May have gone through there. I don't know. No bueno. Yeah, no bueno is right. I think it's too much for me. Retail archaeology, dead malls. That's interesting. I watch some of those occasionally too. There's one called The Company Man. It's a YouTube channel. He does basically little documentaries on famous businesses and how they went out of business and things like that. So I don't know if you guys, if you're on the West Coast, you might remember Risotti's or whatever. He did one, I think, on them. Um, then he'll do products like when Coke comes out with Crystal Coke, which was a clear Coke Cola one time. He does things like that. It's very interesting. Oh yeah, the Company Man's great. East St. Louis bad city, trust me. Oh yeah, East St. Louis is horrible. Small town rivalries. So I did this one. I did like 4 videos and they never did well, but I could have worked on those harder. Probably about, sorry, 2 years ago, I did some videos on Philly versus Pittsburgh and Los Angeles versus San Francisco. I think Dallas versus Houston, and what's better. Went back and forth. They never did that well. I probably could have thought those ones out better. I probably could have put more effort into them. I think it's a great concept, but then again, Mr. Beat, not Beast, Mr. Beat, he does a lot of geography classes or geography things, and I think he's done something similar to that. I gotta check that out. If I ever bring that out, I gotta make sure I'm not stepping on his toes. He's a good guy. Rich, do you ever think we'll go into a deflation economy someday? I mean, it usually takes some kind of collapse for that to happen. Dude, fastest growing cities in California video. Yeah, that could be a good one. Geography King, everyone keeps bringing him up to me. I don't think I've watched one of his videos. I think I got to eventually. There's someone else I've been watching recently. Who was that? I gotta check this out. 1 second here. Van Neistat is pretty interesting. That's Casey Neistat's brother. He has some interesting stuff. I've been watching him a lot lately. Recession was last time. Yeah, that's about it, Robert. Well, that was the 2009 recession was kind of a collapse, and that was the last time prices really went down. The thing is, everyone's complaining about inflation right now, and it's really just a recovery. I mean, we were kind of shut down for the pandemic for 2 years, so these companies have been just bleeding money. Most companies, I should say. If you're Amazon or DoorDash, you probably did pretty good, but so they're just trying to recover. And I mean, we got to pay for it, and that's all there is to it, and that's what's going on. Eventually, I don't think it'll go down. It'll just kind of slow down a little bit. Hey, King Seahawk, haven't seen you in a while. How you doing, buddy? We'll be launching a channel soon within the next couple of weeks. Any good suggestions to see? You know what? You just feel out what you're gonna do. I mean, my channel, I started off gaming, didn't work out. Then I went to vlogging, didn't work out, and then I landed on this. So you do however you feel it should go. Feel out your audience, learn about your stats, keep watching your stats, keep hitting that upload button. You'll find an audience. And don't pay people to shout you out. It does nothing for your channel. I get people asking me to do that like once a week. They want to pay me just to go, hey, go over and watch this channel. And what happens is, so let's say I do that for some guy's channel, and he's like, one guy tried to get me to do it, and he had 3 videos, 3 subpar videos, actually. I don't want to rag on the guy. I'm not going to tell you who he was. His videos weren't that good. and he only had 3 of them up, and they'd been put up in the last week, and he wants to give me money to shout his channel up, and I'm all, "This is what'll happen, dude. I'll shout you out, you'll pay me money. Those people will go see that you have 3 videos." I didn't tell him his videos sucked. I mean, that's not my place, but I said, "You have 3 videos, they'll realize you don't have a good library, and they won't come back. It's a waste of money. Just focus on making better videos. Just focus." And then he came back, "Well, I'd like to jump and get going, and this helps me out and motivate me." I was, no, just focus on your videos. I think he ended up doing 6 videos and giving up. And that's another reason I don't shout people out. I shout them out, and then they're not invested in it. They're not vested in it. Well, lower wage employers are really starting to feel the pinch because people have a lot of other options. I mean, there's a lot of factors that go into it. And one that people aren't considering is you have a lot of people on OnlyFans, Instagram, um, YouTube, what TikTok, they're making money. Okay, so that's just a small portion. Then you have people working the gig economy. They're driving for DoorDash, Uber, Lyft, something like that. So a lot of the workforce is found other things where they can control their own hours and make their own money instead of having to punch a clock 9 to 5. And that's hurting a lot of the traditional companies that didn't like to pay you a lot, like fast food, retail, things like that. And they're hurting. And it's like, you guys got to realize you got to change your ways. You got to pay more. Maybe not pay out, all 20 of your executives don't get 1.5 million next year. Maybe give them 900,000 and spread some of the other wealth out. Anyway, that's just me. And there's a lot that goes into it, but that's part of the problem that I don't think anyone's really addressing, that there's other options out there for people to make money more than ever before. I don't know if they'll go down. You hope they'll go down if you're well, I mean, if we get in a strong enough economic depression, they have to go down because nobody'll buy anything. A bunch of videos up there, just college work. They're cringe. Don't watch them. Yeah, see, that's Caleb. That's the that's the thing. A lot of our early videos, I deleted probably my first 30 videos were deleted a long time ago because they were just horrible. I was just feeling my way through them, didn't know what I was doing, and I don't need people to see that. Does nothing for my channel. More robots coming to fast food, etc. Yeah, probably they needed to. That's a couple of years ago when McDonald's started adding those things to their restaurants. People started putting up memes. Oh, you want you want more wages, or you want a $15 minimum wage? Say hello to your replacement. Well, here's the thing: they act like they're going to switch over to automation because $15 an hour. I got news for you. Any business that could switch over to automation and pull it off will do it in a heartbeat. Every business on the planet, well, most business on the planet, I shouldn't say every, most businesses or corporations, their biggest expense, especially restaurants, is employees. So if they could replace employees with a kiosk, they will do it in a heartbeat. It doesn't matter if minimum wage was at $6 an hour. That's how it is. And kiosks don't call in sick. Kiosks don't need health insurance. Kiosks don't go on vacation. There's not a big turnover in kiosks. Culinary degree, nothing wrong with that. I was raised by the restaurant industry. Yeah, they are. My wife's side of the family, they're all oil money. They all worked for the refineries in Southern California and stuff like that. And it's just that whole thing's a scam. They make record profits, and then they get all kinds of subsidies, and they don't have to pay taxes on most of their crap. The ice cream machine, that's about it, huh? Hello, Justin. Thank you for watching my videos. I appreciate that. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button, you guys, if you haven't. I know I keep saying that, it just helps out the channel. Trying to get this channel to where it's actually gets in the partner program and I could start running ads on this one. Hopefully someday. What oh, here's a good question. What product they stopped making that you wish they didn't? It's a good question. Very good question. What do I miss? What do I miss? In a weird way, I kind of miss CDs. I know it's more functional. It's easier to use just a MP4 or whatever your phone to listen to your music. But there's something neat about CDs and records for that matter. I didn't like records because they always got scratched. I was just not that careful with them. But CDs, I just loved. Um, there was something neat about owning the CDs and DVDs for that matter. I used to have stacks of DVDs, and I loved having my collection of DVDs. Um, I mean, some people like having collection of books. I liked having a collection of CDs and DVDs. Now all that's gone. Have a good night, Melissa. Hey, Debbie, how are you? Angus Burger. Thanks, D. I appreciate that. Tab. So there was a drink. I was very young. They were trying to promote them, and a guy who came to our neighborhood and he was handing them door to door. And all the local kids, he said he'd give us all like three of these sodas. We went and dropped these bags with these sodas on everyone's door, and the sodas were great. They were called Aspen. They were almost like a sour apple Fresca type drink. It was delicious, and I don't know whatever happened to them. Jolt Cola was good. What was that other one? Pepsi had it. Josta? That was good. Chevy, Ford, or Dodge? Neither. I'm a Subaru guy. My family, though, was always Fords. Napster. I loved Napster. There's a lot of good times there on Napster. I was talking to this one girl. She said when Napster first started, um, she got all into it and didn't know much about computers. She's working at a call center, and then finally one day the tech guy came over with her supervisor and was all, um, "You've been downloading so much stuff. Your hard drive on this computer is now completely full, and we've never had that before. So you need to get in there and delete some stuff." Yeah, that's the truth. There's something about actually owning it. I remember, so there's a 20 years ago, there was a game called EverQuest. And I just thought it was so EverQuest is like this Dungeons and Dragons type game, and like we could all be playing it right now, and you could chat and kill things and get together and go around. Anyway, like Warcraft, it was like a precursor to Warcraft. That was the first game I'd ever seen where you could actually pay real money to get a digital item, so you can get this special sword in it. And I was just like, "That's crazy! You're paying real money for something that isn't even real." And it just didn't make sense. Nowadays, that's like everything's that way. I liked MP3 players. Oh, speaking of CDs, so Philips came out with this thing. So CDs could only hold like 20 songs or whatever. And then they had an MP3 CD. So you could download like 150 songs on a single CD. That lasted like 2 years, but that was one of my greatest things I had. I loved that thing. I used to plug that into my car. I used to drive for a lot of comedy shows and stuff. So, I thought it was great because a lot of times you get out in the middle of the desert or whatever, you're driving to a comedy place in some other state, and there's no radio stations, no nothing, and I just put that CD in there. I thought it was like magic. Now it's like 150. I think my phone holds like 800. and then you could always get onto Apple Music. What's something that will always be nostalgic for me? Um, Cocoa Puffs, uh, for some reason. I don't know. I love Cocoa Puffs, and if I taste them, if I smell them, I just get transported back to wearing pajamas and my mom still being alive. Anything Briggs, here, let's look at that one. There's a lot of things. Briggs, anything you did when you were young that you regret? I mean, in much ways. I wasn't a very nice person to a lot of different people. Uh, and that's always been regrettable, especially girls. I was definitely not a good boyfriend to have ever. Um, so that ended about the time I met my wife for some reason. But yeah, that was that I look back and I just think of, there's girls that I knew that really liked me and I just treated them poorly. Because I was arrogant and that's how it is. And you grow up and you're all, dude, you were a dick. So yeah, that's something I regret. Oh, there was a Nintendo came out. My niece had it. I didn't have it, but there was this jet ski game on it. Oh my god, the water looked so real and it was so fun. I love that game. So there's a guy that used to come into my dad's restaurant. Always had transistor radio and always had the one earbud and earpiece in his ear. I think he listened to politics stuff. And I actually did a vlog about him. It's the strangest thing. He was in my parents' restaurant all the time, and he just sat there always with like one cheek out of the booth and one cheek in. He's sitting there like he had to get up and run in a hurry at any given time. And he'd sit there and he'd order food, get his food, and leave, listen to his transistor radio all the time, and never talk to anyone. And then one day he started talking to me. And well, right before I went in the army. And I'd seen him in there for years. We were nodding acquaintances. We'd walk by, we'd nod, and that was it. Um, and then one day, right before I went in the army, he like stops me. I'm like, holy shit, what's he gonna say? I've known him for probably 10 years and never even spoke to him. But then he started talking to me and he was in the military. My mom had told him that I was going to the military. So we talked for a while. His name's Clay. And then I'd talk to him occasionally. And, then I realized I used to see him at this park. I used to go skateboarding and skating down by the beach by my house. And he'd always be in this park that I'd cut through. And I thought, okay, well, the dude's a little weird. That's kind of strange. He's always in this park right near where all the kids play. Come to find out, he wasn't strange. But anyway, uh, I was talking to him one day, a couple of years after I got out of the military, and he's, "Oh yeah, I found out. I heard you had some kids and all this time. So yeah, how'd you find that out? And he goes, "My daughter told me." I'm like, "You have a daughter?" He goes, "Yeah, I have a daughter." I'm all, "You do?" And he goes, "You've gone to school with her since you were in first grade." I was like, "What the?" And yeah, apparently I did go to school with her. I knew her pretty good. I just known that was her dad. Really strange. Anyway, so he just died like 2 years ago, sadly. Oh, and the reason he used to sit at the park, interesting story. When my friend, his daughter, was younger, they were at that park. His wife, ex-wife, I think she died. But anyway, so his ex-wife and the daughter were at the park, and some other kids. Um, and some guy was hanging out by the bathroom, and he flashed them, and it was very traumatic for all the little kids there. And I don't know if they ever caught the guy or whatever, but he liked to be in that park in case anything like that ever happened again. And that's why he used to sit on this bench to make sure there's no weirdos around these kids. I was like, I thought he was the weirdo. Anyway, so I quit watching the chat and God knows what you guys been talking about without me. Okay. So, what life event caused you to evaluate your arrogance? I don't know. Uh, yeah, I don't know. I think it was just getting married, having kids, and realize that all those people, all those girls that I treated poorly were somebody else's kids. I think it was something like that, and I didn't realize that. And so, yeah, you just grow up and you learn. SeaWorld at Cleveland. SeaWorld, Cleveland. Ooh, we used to have Marineland out by where I grew up um, on Palos Verdes Peninsula. Uh, There it was like SeaWorld, and we used to go up there, and I always had plans of going up there when I got my car, and I think they shut it down when I was 15. I'm a beast? Well, thank you. Thank you for answering a tough question. I'm here for tough questions now. Just kidding. So, my parents' restaurant started off my grandmother. She worked for a restaurant, and and the owner was gonna close down. My grandfather, who was an electrician for Fox Studios at the time. She worked there since she was young, so he's like, "You know what? We'll just buy it, and you can have the restaurant." Back in the 50s when you could just on a whim buy a restaurant. So he bought the restaurant for her and turned it into a legit business. And he had a friend who was a worked at he was like a instructor or professor at UCLA and about advertising, commercial advertising. And he came up with the name for it, which was he said it's got to be unique to grab people's attention and says food. So they came up with snacks, SNAX. And that was my dad's restaurant. It's a hamburger place. My grandmother had hers. My dad opened 3 total. Um, and then but they eventually the big moneymaker was it became a beach breakfast place. So that's where they made their money. What type of food? There you go. I got that right. 7 Up was good. Big fan of your videos and US. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. So yeah, I did hear there is that where it is? It's Marineland in Niagara Falls, Ontario. There used to be a few of them, and I think that's probably the only one left. Best beach in Oregon. Myself, I like Cannon Beach. There's better ones, but that's the one I like. SeaWorld closed 2000 Cleveland. Oh wow. You know, I think I got COVID twice. In the beginning when we didn't know what it was, me and my wife had it, but it fit all the symptoms. Had a hard time breathing, tired all the time. Um, I think I couldn't taste anything, but you know, it was all happening. We didn't know what it was. Then weeks later, we're like, "Holy crap! I think I had that already." So I think me, my wife, and one of my sons had it, and then I think after we're vaccinated, I think I got a little touch of it again, which wasn't that bad the second time around. Oh yeah, Haystack Rock is an amazing picture. World question. Thoughts on Malcolm X? Well, I thought he was a superhero for the longest time. I thought he was part of the X Men. I really did. It's weird. Weird. Briggs, will you do a video on Amtrak, preferably single section? Oh, in the single section on Amtrak trains, like where you sit out with the like the bus seating type or coach, I guess it's called. Um, yeah, you know, I might someday. I plan on doing a couple more trips this year, so we'll have that out. COVID vaccine does not work. A paperclip does not stick to me. Okay. So just so you know, do you know how much metal would have to be in that shot to make anything stick to your body unless you weigh like 12 pounds? If you're an 80-pound person, you would have to be injected with something that would still maintain fluidity. You would have to have about 250 shots before anything metallic or magnetic, before you could possibly be turned magnetic, unless it's magic. Um, oh, where I have my own shower? Oh yeah. I'm gonna do that one again. That's the way I like to go. I like to have the one with my own bathroom, my own shower, and it's great trip. Magneto was based off Malcolm X. I did not know that. When I was a stand-up comedian, I had all these jokes about how white I am, and one of them was, "I'm so white, I thought Malcolm X was a superhero. I'm so white, I spell base BASE." Um, you seem to have gained a fair amount of wisdom for your age. I think I have some wisdom. I mean, I've had the ability in my life to stop and think and go, "You know what? This shit doesn't make sense." And then I figure it I don't know. I think one of the biggest skills a lot of people are missing in the world, and, I don't have a lot of I horrible at math, right? I know history, I know some science, but you give me a checkbook I gotta fucking put back together, or tally up, and I start sweating. So, nobody is perfect. But when it comes to logic and common sense, I think I've excelled at that in my life. Yeah, it's just some people can't do math. I'm that person. Have I ever visited truck stops? I have. Sitting there looking over my mic when if I move it right here, it's perfectly fine. Okay. Oh, okay, Caleb. I wasn't sure. You know what? There's so many people out here that think that you just don't know. But I'm glad you think that's a joke. I saw someone say that they got like one of these town hall meetings or school board meetings where some lady was trying to show something stick to her. She had she was ample up here and she was putting it right there. Shall it sticks? I'm all no. It's sitting on a shelf, lady. It's not sticking to you. So there you go. What Dennis Miller say? I'm so white, I'm just this side of transparent. Mixing paper. Oh, I gotcha. I got you, Caleb. Okay, yeah, I didn't read it good enough. Gotcha. Yeah, but that is pretty interesting that people thought that they were getting magnetized from that. It's like you got to stop and think about this, people. It's like uh, a lady called one time because the pool had gotten a little yellow. My brother owns a pool business, and this lady called and said her pool got a little yellow, and that was because the pool was filled with urine. Well, it was actually little algae that was floating in there that kind of gave it a yellow tint. So she's all, no, that's urine. It is definitely urine. And my brother's all, no, it's impossible. So she's all, no, I know what I'm talking about. That's urine. We have a lot of kids that come to this pool. My brother had to break it down from her by I forget the numbers, but he was like, "You would have to have about 400 people here going to the bathroom every 30 minutes for the next 2 days to fill this pool with urine. Very true, Mary. I couldn't tell you what the best truck stop. I usually get gas and some Slim Jims and get back on the road. Actually, no, I ate at a Wendy's one time at one. It was delicious. I was hungry as hell, so maybe that's part of it, but the urine pool. Yeah, that was some people, it's like lady common sense. Think about how big the human bladder is. It's like maybe that big, right? So you're talking, I don't even know what it is. It's got to be less than that, right? So how many of these, what are these? 14 fluid ounces you would have to put in a pool. 20,000 gallons are in a pool. I know that. Best place to be safe from a natural disaster? It's probably going to be Idaho. No tsunamis. They don't get really tornadoes or anything like that. They rarely get earthquakes that I know of. They don't get terrible blizzards unless you're up in the mountains. Idaho is probably one of the safest places from natural disasters. Actually, no, they get brush fires all the time. So screw that. Oh, Big Wednesday is the greatest surf movie ever. It's not a surf movie, it's a movie about surfers. I love Big Wednesday. One of my favorite movies of all time. Growing up in a beach community, now that movie supposedly happened in the 60s. That was when it was based on. But growing up in a beach community in the 80s, I knew people exactly like some of those people. And I've been to parties that were very similar to the ones they were going to in those in that movie. It was like I'm watching it going, "I've seen all this stuff." Yeah, Idaho does have a bit of a problem with race. Actually, I didn't realize this, not that they're racist, they're just not very diverse, but Vermont is the whitest state in the nation now as of the 2020, census. They jump past New Hampshire and, Maine. I did one about Tallahassee about 2 years ago. That was the last time I did a video about that. Oh, hey, I forgot. I got this other neat thing I do. Look at this. Technology. Other than Alaska, what's my favorite state? My favorite state is, I really like Oregon, but I really like Pennsylvania. I like Wisconsin and Vermont. So I don't know where I'd find this stat. Hey Briggs, love your videos. Which state has the most diaper wearers by population? So yeah, I couldn't tell you. Um, but oh my god, I just had it on the tip of my tongue. If Florida's not the oldest state, you have so many retirees go down there, you think it might be them, but it's not them. I think it is Alabama has the oldest population. I could be wrong. I'll have to look at that again. What happened with the stream the other night? People were going nuts. When I did one like 2 weeks ago, Mind J, large harbor traveler. Yep, it's actually owned by the Cleveland Browns. He got in trouble not too long ago. Apparently, they were getting rebates from these coupons that was supposed to be going to the truck drivers, but they were keeping the rebate themselves, and it was a big thing. They've been doing it for years. They got in trouble with that years ago. I remember that when he was buying the Browns, that popped up. So this is I like this. I think we're going to do this more often on this channel because this is manageable. It's nice. It's enjoyable. No, you had a stream going the other day, 11:25 p.m. I did? Oh, was that what happened? Okay, so I was testing something and I got on tonight and there's all these comments, but it only looked like there was comments from like 3 people. So, I guess it was on and I didn't know it. But I couldn't find where it was. It didn't show up on my thing. I looked at my actual analytics and it wasn't being recorded to my YouTube. It was just kind of sitting here. It was weird. I think that's what happened. I could be wrong. Yeah, Caleb, I don't know what that was all about. I think that's what you're talking about, though. Scare you from flying for a while. That's a reason. No, that one didn't frighten me. I mean, it sucked, but that one didn't frighten me. I knew that was, you know, just a one-off thing that'll probably never happen again. What state will have next growing small towns? Utah. Utah's the next one on the list. Have you ever been to Lake Tahoe? Yeah, many times. I think Lake Tahoe is one of the most beautiful lakes you'll find. I mean, they have some great ones in upstate New York and stuff, but Lake Tahoe is just a beautiful state, or beautiful lake. What's the name of that nude beach there? They have a nude beach there, like Treasure Cove or I forget what it is. Crater Lake's beautiful too. Yeah, I forgot about that. Well, yeah, you know what? Magic Reason. So, Briggs, for real, I appreciate you always being left or righty and ask people polite and comment. The thing is, you have to. You have to be because I don't have all the answers. However I lean politically, I don't have all the answers. Neither does anyone else. What works for one person doesn't work for the other. And who am I to judge how they want to live their life? So if you want to be, a Republican or Democrat, liberal or conservative, I'm none of us are in a position to tell anyone how to vote or anything like that. So you can't you don't know everyone's life enough to really judge how they vote or how they see things. It's just common sense to me. Secret Cove, is that it? But yeah, well, thanks, Magic Reason. To Lake Tahoe. Yeah, there you go. Drive your Chevy Tahoe to Lake Tahoe. Or was it GMC made the Denali? Drive that up to Denali in Alaska. No. I think I've heard of Robber's Cave, though. I think I have. We got another one here in Oregon that's something similar. I read this years ago. Oh God, I don't even remember if it's Mexico or Guatemala, but I think it was Mexico. But around the 1800s, sometimes there was this band of guys that were robbing people on these roads, and they were holed up in a cave, and that was their little base. Well, they were having a shootout with the police. I think it was Mexico, but they were having a shootout with the police, federales, whatever, and they wouldn't give up. So while they're having the shootout on the outside of the cave, they're putting dynamite around it, and the federales basically collapse the cave on these guys. I was like, "That's just wrong." GMC, that's right. Where are you, Jonathan? The heat, Texas? Oh, you guys are having a heat wave right now, aren't you? Yeah, I heard, like, you're having electricity problems again too. That's not bad. After that winter thing, you think they'd have their crap together. Starlink, okay, West End, County, Starlink, Greenville, hello from Greenville, South Carolina. Um, I was moving to what? Got it. It's not Rochester. Hold on. Give me a second. There's a town I really like in Minnesota, and I can't think of the name right now. Oh, what is it called? I can't even pronounce it right now. Mankato. Um, I was reading something about that. It's a cute little town. Very middle America. Wick, why are you so it's weird. Wick, you're not showing up on one thing, but you're showing up on my phone. Why is that not showing up? So my I just realized something. Not everyone's making it your comments to that. That's weird. I see. Okay. Okay, so what's happening with this on the program I'm using where I could actually show your comments like this, anything that is being held for review isn't showing up here. So that's why, in case you guys are missing some things, normally when the algorithm picks up something that they think is unkosher, it makes me approve it, and I approve them all the time. Well, it's not showing on the program. So, in case you guys are wondering why some of your stuff's not showing up, that's what it is. Getting rain next week. We went from 2 days ago. I had serious hail. I mean, normally hail lasts for about 30 seconds to 2 minutes or something like this. It went on for like 10 minutes of hail. It was insane. And then today it was like 75 degrees. Oh yeah, Pacific Northwest. I don't know how anyone could live in Las Vegas. I like to do Las Vegas for a weekend, and that's it. All right, guys. I'll tell you what. Now this an hour and a half. I'm going to call this one, and I won't be doing this next weekend unless I get a really good internet connection because I should be on a cruise ship. but definitely the weekend after that, right here, probably around 7 p.m. Okay. Appreciate you guys all hanging out with me tonight. Everybody have a great night. See you next week or 2 weeks.